This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Don't know how to make a website like this idiot here? Make it with Squarespace. Thanks. Anyway, hello, it's me, Kasey, and I am back with Greg. And today I am back with my midlife crisis. If you've been following me on different social media, you have noticed that I've got my first piercings, followed by my 6th and 7th, and we're really going for it. I dyed my hair for the first time, and I've been getting tattoos. I also got my hands on the 200 drawing prompt book. Now, don't worry, the 500 drawing prompt book series is not going anywhere. I will still be continuing it. I'm just taking it slow. I don't know when it'll get done, but it'll get done, one day. I was trying to think of ways to use the 200 drawing prompt book in a way that was different than the 500 drawing prompt book, which was just illustrations. And I've noticed with my tattoos, all of the designs so far have just been random doodles and sketches that I did not have intentions to make into a tattoo, but I fell in love with the designs and I still like them, 6 years later? So I figured the more silly doodles I create, the more opportunity for silly tattoos I'll have. I don't know if I explained that well. If you're confused, just watch the video. Let's have some fun and get into our 200 drawing prompt series. I'm super excited. Let's get into it. As you can see, I have sectioned off the book into 10 different episodes, so I'm going to be sketching 20 doodles per episode. It's going to be a lot of sketching. We're going to do a little tour of everything I've drawn, and then I'm going to get a tattoo. So here we go, starting off with our first prompt. We have angel's wings. So going into this book, I had no idea I was actually going to use this for, well, anything. I actually sketched these on stream back in December, and I have my dead cats, even though they are alive. I drew a random angel. I didn't hate this. I liked it as an illustration, so I went ahead and finished this piece as my selected piece, and it's fun, but I wouldn't get it tattooed, and you know what? That's okay. Moving on, we have Dr. Seuss hat, and this one was really hard because, as a lot of you guys know, I actually don't care about fan art, and I certainly don't care about putting fan art that I don't care about on my body, so this one was a little bit hard to approach. I started off with your typical, Cat in the Hat hat, and I just started sketching different things like flowers, mushrooms, food, and just trying to have fun with it. In the end, I did settle for the Cat in the Hat type character. I tried to make it more complicated with more patterns and stuff, but I did go back and keep it simple. It's a cute doodle. Your reflection was a really interesting one. I like to play around with the different shapes, maybe water messing up the reflection, broken mirrors. I really liked the goofy face of the hand holding a mirror. However, I wasn't super thrilled about the idea of tattooing myself on my body. However, changing the face is something that can easily be done, or just get rid of my hair, my big nose. We have options. Moving on to asteroids. I love a good space illustration, and I really had fun with this one, though I'm not hugely into the whole idea of there's a hole in your body and something's coming out of it. It just looks kind of goofy to me personally. However, I did like this one as an illustration, so I went ahead and did 2 of these for a doodle. The Milky Way, we are continuing with our space theme. Again, I love a good space illustration, but I don't know if I want something so busy as a tattoo. Are they cute illustrations? Sure. They were fun to doodle. Moving on to, oh my gosh, comic book cover. Who, me, the comic book artist? Obviously, I took this opportunity to put my own characters as a comic book cover, though I already do have Prickle and Pear tattooed on my legs, so sketch scouts were definitely more of an option, and that is what I ended up doodling. We have Spot coming out of a Sketch Scouts comic. It's pretty cute. Maybe in the future, who knows? I don't have a Sketch Scout tattoo planned, so one day. Lotus flower. I think this is actually the worst of them all. I'm just not super into drawing detailed flowers. I did like the girl, but it just wasn't my style. I don't know. So I went with the bear. I'm not entirely happy with it. It's a bear coming out of a flower. And frankly, it looks awful. So let's move on. Looking through a keyhole was really fun. I actually liked a lot of these, especially the one of me. But again, I'm not super into the idea of tattooing myself on my body right now. I did like the fish. We have a cat looking through a hole. I actually ended up illustrating all 3 of these because I really liked them. I mean, I illustrated 3 of them, so I must have really liked them. Now, the technical term for tree of life is just a tree of life. Is it a metaphorical thing? Either way, I just doodled a tree that had animals on it. I also doodled a pregnant tree. I also doodled a penis tree with hands and apples, which honestly, I thought that one was really goofy. Wasn't super into the wiener. Though I don't know how I feel about the big old feet on the finished illustration, so I do like the hands tree though. Maybe something to play with in the future, huh? Something with 2 heads was really fun. I like weird stuff. I like animals. These little guys are super cute, but I don't know that I was feeling a connection with any of them in particular. I did go ahead and do the Canada Goose, and I started it from an egg, a double yolk, and then a 2-headed animal. Cute. Oh my gosh, lightsaber. You guys know how I feel about fan art. I started off by drawing a couple of lightsabers and I realized I just really did not care about the lightsaber situation. So I drew myself saying no and we moved on. Now, did I draw a lightsaber for the finished product? Absolutely not. I drew a pencil with a very long tip. You can't tell me what to do. You can't, you just can't. Hey, hope you aren't having too much fun. It is time to thank the sponsor of the video, Squarespace. All right, listen up, punks. Now that I have tattoos, I'm hardcore and mean. So I'm gonna bully you into making a Squarespace website. Number 1, punks, we got cutting edge design, that's right. For idiots like me who don't know how to code their own website, and frankly is really bad at website design. Squarespace is also where I host my online store. We've got tools for shipping, fulfillment, inventory, online payments. Speaking of, Squarespace Payments is the easiest way for you to get paid fast and simply get paid fast. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/KaseyGold and save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for buying this sponsoring this video. Back to the tour. The Grim Reaper, this one's cute. I actually like these, I guess like chibi styled Grim Reapers. The horse Grim Reaper is interesting and silly, but I did end up using this little guy for the finished piece, and I think he's cute. I do like him, but I think maybe I'll set him aside for now. Fountain of Youth was a fun one. We have some interesting ideas like a lady with babies, a kid peeing, babies on a fountain, and then we've got a his and her tattoo or best friend's tattoo. We have one vomiting and one pooping. We like to keep it classy on the Kasey Golden channel. Man in the Moon. Look, I'll say it. I don't know how to see the man in the moon, and I think it's a bit of a stretch if you ask me. Controversial opinion. I started off just drawing a moon and a sun, but I also literally drew a man in the moon, which I thought was kind of cute. The moon and the sun kissing is also very silly, and there's just, I don't know, the moon and the earth. I did settle with the man in the moon and the sun and moon kissing because I thought they were funny, and that's that. Lightning strike. So I was really inspired by the Canadian electrical warning sign, so I wanted to play around with that. I don't know, we have a little dude farting out some lightning, a guy getting struck by lightning. I wasn't super inspired by this one. I went ahead and drew our little guy on a cloud. That one's pretty cute for an illustration. Not my style as far as tattoos go. We have Goddess. I've always been extremely fascinated by the shapeliness of the, oh my gosh, Goddess of Fertility or the Venus. I don't remember exactly what she's called. I love her. I think she's goofy. I think she's silly, but I did want to draw some other goddesses and just ladies. Psychedelic Portal was definitely not my jam, and oh my goodness, you can see with the final piece that I really just put something down to move on. Not my vibe, but we tried. We did try. A View from the Top. This one I started off by a sort of POV of someone on a diving board, maybe someone, not exactly the point of view. Then I had a cat in someone's arm. I do find this one very silly and cute, but I also had the idea of putting my cat on my back because Cheese, my cat, does like to ride on my back, so I thought that was a very cute. It's not entirely a view from the top, but it is her on the top getting a view. That is the one I ended up doodling, and again, not really into the idea of tattooing myself, but I do like the idea of tattooing my cat doing something iconic. So I had to think about that one. Masquerade was interesting. I feel like I was really struggling with this one for a while. I have some ideas that I felt like could go somewhere, and I actually did really love this cat one. I don't have a connection to Masquerade masks, so I'm not sure if I entirely vibe with this one. I might change it up a little bit, but I do really like it. I like the gradient legs, I like the shape, the face, it's cute. And last but not least in the sketch series, we have Poseidon. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I drew this old man with these big cheeks This was pretty goofy. I just wanted to go with a very shapely, generic, like Poseidon. And I did Google Poseidon. I don't think he's a mermaid, but I wanted to draw a mermaid. So I did reference this from a dude standing and then I made him into a mermaid. Not my style of tattoo, but I do think it's cute. So that is our 20 tattoo sketches and ideas. Which one did I end up falling in love for a tattoo? Let's find out. I said let's find out as if I'm not just immediately going to show you. This is the one I ended up going with. It's the Your Reflection one, and you can see I cleaned up the hand a little bit and I actually took the face out of the mirror completely. To be honest, I'm actually not sure if I want the face or not, but I'm going to keep it out for now, and then if I want the face, I can add it in later, so that's always an option. Once I know the tattoo design I want, I print out a few sizes to see what size I want, I cut them out, and then I tape them directly onto my leg. Now I know I could just take a picture in Photoshop, which I have done in the past, but there's just something about taping it onto your leg and getting for a clearer view. Anyway, that's how I like to do my tattoo planning. And with that, we've designed our tattoo, we've picked out the placement. It's time to get the tattoo. Get your reaction face. That's the thumbnail, bro. Yeah. Shout out to Jackie Tattoos. I will obviously have all of her links linked below in the description. Obviously, she's a great tattoo artist, and a huge shout out for letting me bring my camera and my sister, who also got a tattoo, and record all of this footage. It's such a weird concept to be editing this video and seeing someone else creating art on my video. Sure, it's my art, my design, but it's kind of funny looking at the footage watching someone else create art while my ass just sits there and does nothing in the video at this point. I'm sure you guys have some questions about my tattoos, and I haven't really talked about them on my YouTube channel. I've sort of talked about them on my Twitch streams. I actually got my first tattoo last year in December, and I have been thinking about getting a tattoo since I made a video talking about designing goofy tattoos on my body. I knew at that point, if I was curious enough about getting a tattoo to actually start designing them, that it was going to happen eventually. However, the biggest thing keeping me from getting a tattoo is that I'm just a very indecisive person. I can't make decisions. My mind is always changing, and I'm afraid I'm going to put art on my body and then I'll hate it in a year, which obviously is still a risk even with things that I think I do like. But when I was looking through my sketches, some of them up to 6 years old, and I still loved some of the designs, I knew that meant that they would make great tattoos. So most of my tattoos are actually really goofy drawing requests that you guys have given me over the years, which I find very cute. And like I said, realizing that most of my tattoos are just goofy and silly sketches, the more sketches I do, the more tattoo designs I'll have. I have a whole leg to fill up, so it's time to get drawing. When I started this series, I actually thought it would be interesting to watch the whole video not knowing if I would actually get a tattoo with one of the designs or not, because I don't want to force myself to get a design I don't like. And just judging from this first episode, I actually have a few designs that I want to set aside, and honestly, if there are future episodes where I don't like any of the designs, I'll just have to dip into this backlog of tattoo designs I've designed in the past. Not a bad idea. So at this point, you're probably wondering why the mirror is blank. I thought it would be really cute to keep it blank so that every day I could doodle a little face on it how I'm feeling, but honestly, that's a lot of work. Looking at it and looking back at the goofy face that used to be on the mirror, I'm probably just going to have the face added onto it. I guess you will find out what happens in a future episode. And at this point, our tattoo is finished. I was about to say, oh, I love the way it came out, which I hope you do, Kasey. It's gonna be on your body forever. Check out Jackie Tattoos if you are in the Vancouver area and you want to get a tattoo. Links in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, if you would like to purchase any of these tattoo designs, I will have them for sale in my shop. Link in the description. Okay, bye.